Yeah, hello everyone. Okay, so today I will start the new lesson of level 12 reading. Okay, so it's part 1 extensive reading. And before I go, we would like to review something about what is the benefit of reading. So first one, it is repeatable, it is reviewable, it is grammar, structure, and also vocabulary. You can learn from that of the reading on our reading. This is the benefit that we get. And the first start of here is in part 1 is extensive reading. That means you read a lot. The more you read, the more you know about it. And unit 1 is about new vocabulary in your reading. So what can you deal with vocabulary in your reading? Okay, before we start, what we can do, let's start with the first vocabulary. Okay, the first one is nanny. A person in particular, a woman employed to look after a child in its own home. That means nursemaid, the person that look after, that get the fee from the parent, especially the rich one, the rent. Example, there have been wet nurse and nanny for generation, for centuries, still have nanny look after to get the fee from their children. And sapari, it is an area in the garden planted with straw. That means the fruit, sapari. It is the name of the fruit. In foreigner, so we cannot translate just like a strawberry. The garden and a small strawberries to the front are attractive. Well, take off or lower one hat a crown as token of respect or submission. That means take off the hat or the crown. Right? When we go to the pagoda, we take off our hat or crown to respect someone. This is we call well. Especially Charlie Chaplin, the famous comic actor in the world, always do this to respect another person. Example, he wear his bonnet to no one but the judge. Bonnet is head. And impatient, the tendency to be impatient, irritability or restlessness. That means no patience, lack of patience. We can say another word is restlessness. You do not have patience, you are very angry very soon. This is called impatient. Example, he was sitting in his seat with impatience, right? Very angry with that. He don't have any patience anymore. And vegan, now a vehicle used for transporting goods or another specific purpose. Vehicle just like the car. It have four wheels in there. Okay, we always clear the road so that the mill wagon can get to the farm. Okay, and yard, a piece of uncultivated ground adjoining a building, typically one enclosed by the wall or another building. So we can say courtyard also, the space that in front of our house. And there are a yard enclosed by a high brick wall at one end of the place. Gardener, you know the gardener also is a person, just a person. A person who tends and cultivates a garden as a pastime or for a living. Yeah, person who look after, take care of the garden for another person. Just like the nanny also, but this is for the garden, not for the baby. I am the keen gardener, I'm a smart gardener here. And trim, make something neat or of required size or form by cutting away irregular or unwanted parts. Trim, that means we can say cut off to make it equal. Just cut off the tree to save the form of the elephant or another, the cock, whatever. Right? This is called trim. An example, his fingernail were trimmed to a neat band of wire. You see trim, right? Make a cut off or trim your fingernail to the shape of your finger. Okay, another one is opera, a dramatic work in one or more acts set to music for singer or instrumental. Opera just like the name of drama, right? Opera. You cannot translate because it is the drama, the name of drama of the Western country, right? Called opera. Okay, example, it was the best performance of the opera he had ever heard. And the last one is ski. In here you can see. Each of a pair long narrow pieces of hard flexible material, typically pointed and turned up at the front, fastening under the feet for traveling over snow. Right? It's just the sport, the ski, right? Sometimes you go on the flat, sometimes you go on the eye, right? So ski, going very fast with their equipment, just like a shoe. Neither of them ever been on ski before. Okay, that means two of them never been on the ski. So finish in here, and we start with the strategy before we go to the book here called reading more strategy power 3. It have 1, 2, 3, but it's up there. It printed in 2005 in the United States by Peer Education Inc. Okay, so before we go to new vocabulary in your building, how can you show with the vocabulary when you show in your reading? So let's see the rule first, and then we go to the text and practice the exercise. Okay, please open the book all together on page 4, right? You see in the box, rule 1. Okay, then I will explain to you. Do not look up all the new words in the dictionary. If you stop often to look up words, you will forget the story and you will not enjoy reading. So don't look at the new word. When you see the new word in your vocabulary, in your passage, in your reading, right? Don't look at. Okay, the first strategy, here they tell. It is usually not necessary to know the exact meaning of every word. You can often follow the story without knowing some words. Try these exercises with the missing word. This is like reading a passage with words you don't know, right? Just missing word, they just cross it. So you will know. Even the vocabulary that you don't know, but you still know what the text is all about, right? Do not look up it. This is the first rule. And they have exercise also. So second rule, look at number 6. If we do it all together, it have 2 exercises. Second rule have 2 also. Try to guess the meaning of a new word from the other words and sentence around the context. This general meaning may be enough for you to continue reading and follow the story. Okay. Unit C, part 2, Unit 3 for more practice with guessing meaning. So you try to guess the meaning from a new word. So what is the best way for you to try to guess is to see the word around it, right? So it is connected to each other. Sometimes you don't know it, but you can guess the meaning around it. You can understand what it means. Okay, this is the second rule. Try to guess. They let you try to guess, and they have to blank for you to guess what is it. Okay, you will know deeply after you go to the text. Anything more you can ask me. Just the general first. And open on page 7, the box at the bottom. Rule 3. If a verb appears several times and it seems important to the story, circle it with a pencil if it is not your book. When you finish reading, you can look it up in the dictionary. If it is the useful word, write it in the margin, inside of the page or your vocabulary notebook. So when you think that the word is, you want to know all the word, right? So you don't translate it, just note, you underline or circle it, right? The word. After you finish your reading, sometimes you have free time, you can look it up in the dictionary. But it is very necessary, you see. You have to want to know about it. So write it in the margin, right? At the top or at the bottom, at the right side or left side of the book. It is the best way for you to look it up very soon, because you see that this word is related to the context. If you don't know what this context means. So what is the word that play the important role in the sentence or in the context? What is the function of the verb? Can you tell? Noun, adjective, adverb, preposition. What aspect of word that is interesting? Yeah, very good, verb, right? Verb is very interesting in the sentence. Without verb, the sentence don't have the meaning. So verb play an important role. So that's why if you want to know English, you have to learn a lot of word because the word is the root verb and then it becomes to a noun, to adjective, to adverb. You see, this is adding the root, the prefix we call at the start and suffix at the end. Called root. Okay, you will study about word part in very soon. So today, yeah, finish all today. And anything more you can ask me in your take that will be good. Okay, thank you.